Hello everybody and welcome. Hope everyone is well today. The downloads have been off the scale, off the chart, I think is fair to say. So to start off, Corinthians 12:16. Last night, lying in bed, Corinthians 12:16, opening verse. And if the ear should say, because I'm not an eye, I don't belong, it can't quit being part of the body. Okay? And if the ear should say, because I am not an eye, I don't belong, it can't quit being part of the body just because it says it doesn't belong. Okay? So next, Corinthians 16. Meaning, there's no comparison. You should not feel useless or cut off just because you do not have the same job, gift, or talent as another person. God gives each person a specific task, skill, gift, purpose to their position in the collective consciousness to raise the vibration of the earth. Okay? This took me 3 hours to research, to get the messages for, and to make sure I had the correct information, to write it in order, to process it myself. And I actually, truly, genuinely can't believe these messages that I'm receiving. Okay? So, Corinthians 12:16 specifically is talking about, compared to, it's from Paul, okay, St. Paul. He, one of the apostles, he used the body to an analogy to the reasons why people shouldn't compare themselves. So he used the hands and the feet as a comparison as to why you can't compare yourself. And the download that I got last night was Corinthians 12:16. In this verse, he talks about the ears and the eyes, okay? So just because the ear knows it isn't an eye, it should not stop what it's doing. It can't stop its function, okay? So the next thing that I wrote down was the community of spiritual gifts need different people to do different things, so they should not compare. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I'm always talking about star children, seers, prophets, this type of thing. We all have a different meaning in the age of Aquarius, okay? So with this Corinthians 12:16 that came along, as soon as you type it in or watch it on YouTube, first thing that comes up is spiritual gifts. Now, I think what Spirit is trying to say is that anyone who is awarded a spiritual gift should not be comparing it to anybody else's gift. This is causing karma for the self, that you are comparing your gifts to somebody else, which it says here, we all have a specific task, skill, gift, purpose to our position in the collective consciousness to raise the vibration of the earth. So, with that being said, the next quote we have, just as an ear is not an eye, its value isn't less. It just has a different job, but both your ears and eyes need to work together to function as one, as they do different things. Now, they do different things, but the goal is the same, okay? It's important to see as well as hear things. Their job is both equally important, but their purpose is different. Okay, one reacts to sound, one reacts to sight. So it could be talking about clairaudient people, or it could be talking about seers, or cognizance. Okay, something like that. Nearly forgot the word then, but I didn't. I'm on it. So right, as you look up Corinthians 12:16, the first thing that it says on the title is spiritual gifts. Okay? Now, what in this actual Corinthians context is saying that Paul was cast out and discredited as not being a real spiritualist because the advice that he gave, the knowledge that he shared, and the gifts that he had, he was not paid for. He did it out of the kindness of his heart because he knows to give someone who needs advice, help, some kind of guidance at that time would be more beneficial in the future to him. He would be rewarded in a different way. So the Corinthians kind of cottoned on to this, okay? And because of this, they outcasted him. They tried to discredit him because they knew that his reward would be greater. So he was working for dharmic debt. He was working for the Dharma. He wasn't working for, self-importance, for pride, for ego, for anything like that. What he was doing was giving his services to people who actually genuinely needed it, while the other spiritualists were taking money, taking bribes, bad-mouthing other people just so that they could gain some kind of, like treading on people, that type of thing, discrediting people like that. So I think what this message is really saying is, people need to understand the purpose that they're in. And this is where mindfulness comes in, because mindfulness helps us to gain the gratitude for the position that we are in right now, of what we're being given right now, not what we haven't got or what we could get in the future. It's very important to stay mindful and grounded, okay, in this position that we're talking about. I mean, this download that I got was really big, really, really big. I mean, it's huge, it's massive. So anyway, next, after this, okay, number synchronicities I received, okay? The number synchronicities I received was 144, 1933, 333, 555, and then 5252, but we broke it down to a 5. Because it wasn't an angel number or thingy, it was a repeated number, so I just broke it down to a 5. So, woo, 144, 144,000, okay? So, the 144,000 I've wrote here is mentioned in Jewish, Muslim, Christian and Jehovah's religions, plus many more. I didn't name all of them, I named the mains. Not the mains, I'm not saying. Anyway, moving on. I mentioned Jewish, Muslim, Christian and Jehovah's Witnesses religion. The 144,000, a flipping fly has just buzzed right next to my ear. Oh, that was a... Right. So, 144,000 was 12,000 descendants of the sons of Jacob. So Jacob had 12 sons, okay? So the descendants of Jacob's sons, there's 12,000 taken from each tribe. Jacob's sons then formed the 12 tribes of Israel, okay? I mean, I knew some of these things, but I didn't know how far it went into with just the downloads that I got, how far this was guiding me in. And it's all going to tie up at the end, believe me. So anyway, the 144,000 is the 12 tribes of Israel of Jacob's sons. Okay, so each son of Jacob, of the 12 sons, had a job, had a purpose, had a calling, had a task. You know where I'm going with this. You can see where I'm going with this, right? So each one was given different gifts, had a different purpose or replacement. The descendants of those sons that had those placements are called the 144,000. Okay? So, 144,000 is mentioned in the book of Revelations. So the book of Revelations is talking about the end times. Now, I think this is what we're talking about, the 144,000. I think it's meaning a new age. I don't think it means apocalypse, end times, this type of thing. I think it means when a collective consciousness changes and shifts into a different direction. Okay, I've wrote all this myself. This is original content. This is not copied or created from anyone else. I researched this myself. I put the effort into this myself. So I hope people are enjoying this, and please, please, please leave me any comments or likes or anything like that, because they're greatly appreciated on your feedback. So at this point, forgot where I was now. Anyway, moving on. 1933. I'll come back to that in a minute because I think that's quite a lot. So next, download 1933. I got right. Cross Mountain is erected. This was something to do with the 1900th year that Jesus was erected, or something like that. Or so the 1900th year, this cross in 1933 was placed on a mountain. 1933, book burning, the Holocaust. Okay, Hitler. Then in 1933, there was a guy called William Branham, and he wrote prophecies, okay, in 1933. The prophecy, one of the ones of his prophetic views that he had, okay, people also told him he was a fake and that he was a plagiarism and that he actually copied and he didn't, or he maybe did, I don't know. He said anyway, Mussolini's invasion of Ethiopia in particular was incitement of direct fulfillment of a biblical prophecy. So Mussolini's invasion of Ethiopia was a fulfillment of basically a prophecy that is actually in the Bible. So this William Branham, he actually called Mussolini an antichrist for invading Ethiopia. Now Ethiopia is where 12 tribes of Israel come from, what we've just been talking about. Okay, so that's what I was saying before. The book of Revelations, instead of the end times, the book of Revelations, I think personally, means an end to the Pisces age and a beginning of the Aquarian age. So this is where the collective consciousness is now changing. People are starting to get their roles. People are starting to get their positions, their awakenings. Because at the bottom here, the number 333 is the guardian angel, mind, body and soul. So as people are aligning their mind, body and soul, guardian angels are then coming, and they could be receiving guardian angels, receiving downloads, receiving, you know, they could be coming more and more and more. So yeah, you could be gaining in alignment. Lots of people could. Ascended master number is also connected with 333, and protected and guided. So while you are learning or gaining basic knowledge in these spiritual paths that we all should be taking, we are being protected and guided through this. Okay, this is the message. And yeah, last message is grounding. It says grounding is connecting to earth, connecting to yourself, making sure that you are keeping yourself in alignment. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much all I have at the moment. So this is going to be a long video. I've got some oracle cards here. I'm just going to pull a couple very quickly. So what is the message that we need to know? Use loving strength and discernment to guide yourself through to your goal. You are not trying to win the approval of people, but God. If pleasing people were my goal, I would not be Christ's servant. Servants of the universe, servants of whatever pertains to you and your religious beliefs or backgrounds. We are all just doing the same thing, but just in different places or purposes. Okay? So use loving strength and discernment to guide yourself through. Embrace the adventure that you will be facing when you're gaining this knowledge, okay? Like I've just done this whole thing of researching and things, and I enjoyed it so much, honestly. I followed my guide, I followed my intuition, I followed what was being told to me, and the story just came out perfectly, okay? So have confidence in yourself as well. Know what you know, okay? If that makes sense, know what you know. I don't know. But yeah, this says, Jesus said, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to those who are like children, innocence. Brace the life with innocence, discernment, know right from wrong and things like that. With this, especially with these people now being so obsessed with discrediting and comparing themselves to people and stuff like that, it's very important to stay grounded, very important to stand in your power and know who you are. One more, please. Have the faith to walk through new doors. For everything there is a season, a time for every activity under heaven. So this could be telling you that your season will be coming, or your season is here. We have many seasons, that we go through many changes and things like that. So for every season, there's going to be something new that you're going to learn. Every time you ascend, you're going to learn something new. Every time you have an awakening. We have many awakenings. Some of you may feel it in your body. You may get ascension symptoms, colds, flus, aches, shivers. You may have back pain. If you're getting, maybe angels and stuff like that. So yeah. Your wings are coming in. I know that sounds weird. It happens. It happens. I believe in it all. People call me mad for believing in it. You will never know how much things have been thrown at me because of what I do, how I believe and how I talk and how I act and things like that. Like I've literally been told I'm crazy, insane, like you shouldn't do that, or you'll give someone an idea and then they'll try and like twist it and turn it and make it into their idea, and it's like, well, no, I kind of like the way that I'm doing things, so I'm going to do it this way, like. People like to have their input on what you're doing, how you're doing it, and when you should be doing it. And, and it's kind of like, okay, well, this is telling us that for every season, there's an activity that is going to happen for people. So, I mean, people can try and control the narrative as much as they want. But in the end of the day, it's all, the proof is going to be in the pudding. The truth is going to speak for itself. And that's for them to use their discernment on how to move forward with this information. So yeah, with this obsessing and trying to discredit and compete and compare, like, your things speak for yourself. You can't compare yourself, you can't compare a candle to the sun because there is no comparison. You just have to understand that they're two different things. The sun is more powerful and the candle is, probably for essential needs only, but the sun or the light is, to shine through. And this is also why I want to give these messages, because I do want the light to shine through. I do want people to realize that at any point, things can change, things can become more clear. You can gain the things that you've been seeking will all of a sudden come together cohesively and kind of move you forward. Even if you think that nothing's happening, like you're praying, you're doing all the things that you should be doing, you're discerning, you're staying true to yourself, you've got mind, body and soul, and nothing's happening. But this is all a thing that it's all about the timing. So for every season there's an activity, and this is where it's, under heaven, this is where it's going to happen in divine timing. I'm just going to get an animal oracle now. If you do like this reading, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with anyone who you think might like to watch it. The Pathfinder. So yeah. Release your past and start a new journey. You are the teacher and to help others find their way. There will be challenges, but your soul is strong. Perseverance is your secret power, and you have the love that endures all. I hope everyone likes these messages. Right, I'm going to get one which is Oracle, and then I am going to end this out. So, what do we need to know? Spirit. So, we've got Sowilo, Sowilo. So, success, sensuality, wholeness, life force, and victory. So yeah, realising that, you know, the life force is within you to kind of gain this momentum to move forward with your gifts, with your placement, with your purpose, you know. Don't compare yourself to others, stand in your own power, make sure you are grounded within what you're doing, and don't let other people kind of tell you how to be successful or how to kind of gain your victory. It's like, you know, this is divine. This is not man-made, unfortunately for these people. It was magic, liberation, rebirth, awakening, and protection. So we said at the bottom there, the protection. You are being guided by angels, by spirits, by guardian angels. You may even be gaining a guardian angel because you are in alignment with your mind, body and soul. This is how it happens. So yeah, spiritual awakening, and you are protected through this, through your rebirth, okay? Have faith in the universe and believe that anything that you set your mind to, that you can achieve. Okay? I love you all. Take care. Bye.